John, it was always going to be a tough afternoon, but even tougher with what you had to go through there.
Yeah, it's been chaotic, to tell you the truth. I've never known anything like it. I mean, I've coached many years and I've coached many games, but to lose 4 players through head injury assessments, I've just never known anything like it. And obviously, we lost a fullback, a centre, 2 middlemen, so it just puts stress on everyone with rearranging the team, and then obviously middle unit players. The second half, we could only change 1 player, so it's absolutely unbelievable the effort that they put in. And I know people look at the paper and see 30 points to 0, but what they ought to have done is come along today and see exactly what's happened and the effort that the players put in the second half. They lost the second half 8-0, 2 tries, and I felt we bombed a couple ourselves as well, so it's great credit to them, and I take great heart with the effort, enthusiasm and mateship that they demonstrated in that changing room. So, next week when we've got Shane Grady, Aaron Brown, Tom Gilmore, etc. all back, it'll be difficult to pick a team because they've done well. And I want to pay tribute as well to Will Telecki. I mean, 18th men are very rarely used, but he prepared himself as if he was playing the game. Then when he went out there, I think he gave a real good 25 minutes work in that middle.
You had all that time off and preparing for these 2 games against Batley and Featherstone, and then almost you've not been able to execute your game plan because it's been hit in that first half by injuries or whatnot, and that must be frustrating.
We've lost Danny Craven so Matt Fozzard's played 2 games in the halves, and the intention's to play him for 60 minutes as a 9, so you just haven't had to play. But sometimes your plans have to go out the window, and what you've got to do is just show some bloody minded determination and desire, and show your mates that you care for them, and they've done that in bucketfuls today. So I think we could take many positives from that. And it sounds daft when you've lost 30-0, but I couldn't give them monkeys because I know what I saw in that changing room, and I know how hard those players have worked.
And in some ways it's fortunate perhaps you've not got a game next week, because of course you would have been without them 4 players had you had a game next week, and maybe that'll help you for that Summer Bash game against Swinton.
Yeah, well, I mean, obviously it's an 11-day return to play protocol, so as you rightly point out, we'd have lost 4 players for next week as well. But we should be in a much healthier position for Summer Bash. I hope so. It's about time, but we'll just have to wait and see. But we're not using it as an excuse. But what I will do is I will look at our resilience and our group unity, really, to draw on that for later in the season, because there'll be times when we're under the caution of facing adversity again, and we know we can handle it pretty well.
Obviously Max Roberts came in for his first appearance. He probably played longer than maybe you'd planned him to play, but he did okay in the centres.
He did really well, yeah. I mean, the idea was he was going to get 30 minutes, but he obviously got about 75, didn't he? So and he has done well. There's lots. I mean, the middle unit were absolutely first class in that second half because they were out on the feet. We kept sending the physio on to ask how they were, and they were all ghosts. And if we'd have had a full and fit bench and interchanges, they'd have been coming on and off, for rest periods. But we didn't have that luxury. So I'll take my hat off to them, and I'll say, even though we've lost 30-0, there's lots of positives I can take from that.
Kyle Amor and Adam Lawton dropped out the team from Monday. Is there anything up with them too?
Kyle Amor had a knee injury, and Adam's had a sort of recurring knee injury that we're trying to manage. So those were the reasons behind those 2. But I'd sooner concentrate on the lads who've been on the field. And as I say, I'd like to give them all a pat on the back and publicly acknowledge their efforts.
And especially Owen Farmouth as well, who's obviously working back to his 100% best, and he almost relishes that sort of hard-working situation.
They've all relished it, I mean, as I've said, we were trying to find out who was tired, and they're all telling the physio to go away, perhaps in not so polite a fashion, and leave them alone and let them play the half. So, you've just got to admire the character of the players, and that's something really, as I say, we can take as a big positive going forward.
And against the Featherstone team, who look by far and away the best team in the championship.
They played great. That first half, they were awesome. I mean, last week when they played Sheffield, they were coming up with errors, and one of the Featherstone fans, as I left the ground, he said, "We won't play as bad as that again." And well, he was right. and I thought they were awesome in that first half. I mean, the mistakes were very, very few indeed. They played it very quick, their execution was excellent, so they're a good team. And that's another reason why that second half we've conceded 2 tries when we've been able to make 1 change. So that's what, that's a positive to the nth degree. So I know full well if we're running out of changes, we just say, dig deep, fellas, remember what you did against Featherstone, and again, we can build on that.
What do you do now then for the next couple of weeks in preparation for the summer bash?
Well, tomorrow, they recover tomorrow, so, and the head injury people they obviously can't train, they've just got to rest and leave that, but the physio's quite busy with the players who, like your Shane Grady's, your Aaron Browns, your Tom Gilmore's, she's busy with them, so she'll be working hard on their rehab with them, and hopefully, when things have settled down, come Wednesday, we can start really looking forward as well to the Swinton game.